Okay, so now we're going to look at trying to make our rentals dynamic. We're going to use Appwrite for this section. It's free. The free tier is very, very generous. If you go to appwrite.io, free, you can build many projects, unlimited projects on the free tier. So I have an account already, and then you will go to console. So we're going to create a new project. We're going to call it rentals, and we can give it custom project ID of rentals as well. You could just leave it blank and it will just randomly generate an ID, but I'm going to call it that, rentals, and it's right now it's only in Frankfurt. So rentals has been created. We're going to be using the web, so we have to say that, and this is Astro Rentals. For now it's localhost. You can always come back and change this after. So we're going to do this npm install Appwrite. So let's go back to our, if we have it here in the open, npm install Appwrite. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to create a new page under the listings. Yeah, under the listings, and just call it index.astro. And we're going to copy this. Import client from Appwrite. There we go. Make sure we do our thing. We add a default layout to bring that in. And yeah, we'll come back to that in a second. And next, we will copy what's here. So initialize your SDK. So we'll just copy this. And the project is rentals. So we will go under here. And then I'll click next. All right, go to dashboard. Awesome. So now that we have a project called rentals, we're going to add a database, and we're going to create a database, and we're going to call it listings, and then we're going to change the database ID to also say listings, and we're going to create. So now that we've created that, we're going to create a collection. So the collection name is going to be rentals. Rental list. The collection ID also rental list. Okay. All right. So we're going to create the collection. Okay. Then we're going to create an attribute. Now, in this case, we're going to be looking at our content that we have already. So we have a title, slug, location, price, maximum, guest. So all of these things we're going to basically create here. So we're going to create a string. We're going to call it title, and the size 55. Update. Okay. Delete that for now. Let's try that again. Right, so integer price per night required, and delete this, and now we have a new integer. We're going to go max underscore guests required, and another integer bedrooms required, again bathrooms required. You see where we're going with this, and this is a strings, this is category, and this is 1, category is city, room type is apartment, amenities is all of that. Okay. Oops, there we go. And the main image, I'm just going to use that for now. And this is going to be this here. Okay, so another thing. Okay, so it says here security is disabled. We will create, and we have to check the settings, permissions. Here we go. And we're going to say all users create, read, update, and delete. And any users can read. Okay. So it's going to be document attributes, and we're just going to go to the description and update it to 255. Okay, so we're following the documentation here, and we are setting our databases. Client rentals. Okay, so now we're going to say let promise equals databases dot list documents. So the database ID, we can find that. The ID was listings, wasn't it? And the collection was rental listing. And then you'll say promise dot then function, could just be an arrow function. Which is basically response console.log response. And okay, and we're going to say let listings equals response. Oops. Okay, so that's what we got here. Let's see what we're going to get. So this is Astro. So in the header, so we're going to add another just going to say listing, right? Because it's under listings. Okay. So here's the Astro. We're going to run this now. Oh, sorry, I've done install Appwrite already. Okay. So basically we're saying if we're signed in, we're going to see profile, listings, and add a listing. So if we go to listings, we should see, there should be an await somewhere. So index.profile, should be await. Blog promise. Okay, so let's just make sure that our listings are correct, our IDs. So we know that it's rentals is the project, that's fine. And then we have our database, which is listings. Yep. And then our rental list. There we are. Okay. Excellent. So now if we look here, we're getting back this document. Awesome. So let's populate all listings, data, documents, and basically we're going to say all lists. Okay. Now we're going to map through all lists dot map list. And we're going to say h1, and it's the list dot title. Okay. So remember in our database, so it's we're going to need to redo this. So we have the title, we're going to have the location, but you know, we've already kind of done a version of this already. So if we look at the listing card, that's what we'll use. We'll use the listing card as a thing. So we'll say listing card, and the listing card takes image as list.main image. What else does it take? If we look in the listing card, it takes an image, location, price, and slug. Okay, image, location. So list.location, price, list.price underscore per underscore night, and what was the other one? Slug. List.slug. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to, instead of making the listings index, we're just going to go to the other index and move all of that client stuff from Appwrite into here. So we're getting the SDK from Appwrite, creating the client, setting the endpoint, setting the project, creating the database, and getting everything from the rental list database. And we're going to call it rentals and let it return. And we're going to update that. So instead of data, remove all the data. There's rental.slug, rental.price per night, etc., etc. So now if we run npm run dev, we should see the only one that exists, which is Paris, France. Now if we click it, obviously we're not going to be able to get all the information. So let's do that now. So let's save that, that's fine. So instead of having to write this every time, what we're going to do, we're going to create another folder in the source file called, you can call it library. And we're going to say appwrite.js, okay? And we're going to take everything from here and put it into there. So, okay, and now we're just going to export const databases. So that we don't have to do that every time. Actually, let's see. Export const databases. Actually, we just put it there. And that's that. And we can get rid of that, put that back in here. Alright, so now we can import databases, but instead of it being from Appwrite, it'll be from lib for Appwrite. So that should still work now. Yep, it's still there. And now let's work on the listing itself. So we're going to get rid of this content. We'll leave the default there, and we'll get rid of this as well. Undo. Okay. So we'll get rid of this render. We will get rid of content there, and we'll remove all the data that's here basically. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do the same thing. And we're going to basically get the database. So we're going to import again databases from the library, and we're going to say await. How do we do it in the index here? List documents. Do this. And what we're going to also do is we're going to import query from Appwrite. And if we look at the documentation, so we want to say like query equals, sorry about that, query equals, so we'll do this. And instead of, we'll say slug, and we will change all of that to say slug, because that's what we're getting from the rental titles. Awesome. All right. So format document, right? Excellent. So all of this will be we're getting the slug from the parameters, and if it's undefined or if the rental is undefined, we're going to go to a 404 page, and if the and we need to change that to slug. Okay, so now we should be able to go here and it should take us. All right, so we're going to change this amenities here. I'm going to remove that completely. And we're just going to put rental.amenities. Okay. All right. So now we're not getting the information, but we're kind of getting what we want in each page. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to make a condition. And we're just going to say rental if it exists, basically. And we're going to do that. Okay. Let me see. We get that. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So basically, what we're doing, we're accessing the first rental in the array. And we should be able to see everything is there. Okay, so the amenities I have to fix, but right now, here we go. So basically, if we look through we're importing the query from Appwrite and what the database is from our setup here. And basically what we're doing is we're getting the very first rental that comes back. And from that rental, we're going to get the title, main image, the slug, the description, the location and all of that. And then rental.amenities, we're going to say .map, we're going to say item, we're going to say any, I'm going to say item. Actually, we're going to split it first. Split. We're going to split it by \n, and then we're going to map it. Okay, let's just debug that. Console.log rental. Let's see what we're getting back. Amenities, okay, rental.amenities. Let's see, what do we get back? Remove that now. It's all trial and error. Okay, that's what we got. We got amenities back like that. Excellent. So if we say rental.amenities, we should be getting back everything. Okay, excellent. So, okay, we're going to say li rental. Okay, we're going to go rental.amenities.map item, and we are going to say li item. So it's saying that it can't read it. It's not reading it as a. Okay. join. Split. Okay, so when we get the rental back, we're going to convert the amenities string into an array. So we'll create an amenities here, and we'll say it's called rental amenities, and it's a ternary operator. So if we're going to split everything with the \n, which is what comes, how it's written, and we will say if there's anything there, split everything, and if not, make it an empty array. And we're going to just call this amenities. Oops. Amenities.map. And here we go. So now if we take a look, here it is. So all the amenities are written here. And we can change that to, say, give it a class or font of italic, for example, and they're all change italic. We could give it anything, so we could say here class font dash bold, and there you go, we've got location Paris, France in bold, and we can say this is a span, and we can change that class to font normal. And you see, we can, so we can do the same to each. Price per night, bedrooms, bathrooms, guests, rental, okay. Bedrooms, bathrooms, max guests. So instead of doing all of that, actually we will just copy the first part here. Obviously you could make this into a component of some kind if you wanted to, but I found it probably just easier to do it this way for now. And we'll do the same for here. And we'll make sure that we close the span after each thing. So we go here, and here we go. So we just format the document. Alright, so just realized I've moved this outside of where it needs to be. It needs to be in here. Okay, so we've messed something up. So if we got this one, okay, UL is here, okay. Okay, and guests seems to be in another location for some reason. So can't actually see. Oh yeah, here it is. Let's move all of that to here. now we should have everything back to normal. Excellent. So make sure that the span is at the right location. That one's fine, this one isn't, you see. And make sure that the span is in the right place. Inside the list item. And we format. That should work now. Okay, so that's right. So we've got the location, bedrooms, guests, bathrooms, etc. So this is being pulled in from the Appwrite project that we have with rentals. So if we go to databases, listings, rental list, this is the document that it's pulling. It's pulling all of that. So now that we can pull things dynamically, let's see if we can add things dynamically. So first of all, before we conclude and go back to my header, I'm going to get rid of this ahref listings because that's just the main folder, the index file we were doing. So here we go. So now we need the add a listing. So if I sign out, home, okay, and I click, so I'm not signed in at all, but I can still see all of this information. But as you can see, I can't add anything. And if I inadvertently, cancel. If I inadvertently go to add listing, it will take me back to the login. So, okay, so that's what we'll do next time.